back, Algebra. Let's go ahead and finish up these last few problems. Let's look at number 5. So for number 5, you have x squared minus 30 equals 13x. You'll notice that it is not equal to 0. So what we want to do is we want to make it equal to 0. So we're going to minus 13x from both sides so that it is equal to 0. When you do this, I would rewrite it so that it's in descending order. So x squared, then the minus 13x, and then the minus 30. You cannot combine this minus 13x with either the x squared or the 30, because remember, in order to combine, they both have to have an x to the first, and neither of these do. So I would rewrite it so that it's in descending order. X squared, then the minus 13x, and then the minus 30, because we need it in descending order so that we can factor it. Now that it's equal to 0, we can do our little box problem. It's got to multiply to be the last number, negative 30, and add to be the middle number, which is negative 13. So you got to figure out what numbers multiply to be negative 30. So you could do like negative 1 and 30, 1 and negative 30, 3 and negative 10. You've got negative 3 and positive 10. So far, though, none of these add up to be negative 13. It gets close with the negative 10 and 3, the negative 3 and 10, but that doesn't work. So let's see, what else can we do? Oh, we could do 15 and 2. So like negative 15 and positive 2. That's what's going to end up working, is negative 15 and positive 2. So those go there in the box problem. We're going to create two sets of parentheses. X goes in the front of both. Negative 15 means a minus 15 in one of them. Positive 2 means plus 2 in the other one. From here, you're going to set things equal to 0 and solve. So you're going to set x minus 15 equal to 0 and x plus 2 equal to 0. You're going to add 15 to both sides, get x equals 15. The other one, subtract 2 from both sides, and you get x equals negative 2. So those are going to be your two answers. All right. What I'd like you to try is number 6 and number 7. Okay, so give those a try, pause the video, give them a go, and then resume the video to see how you did. Okay, so let's see how you did. For number 6, it's already equal to 0. Just go straight to factoring. It's got to multiply to be 16, add to be 10. Those two numbers are going to end up being 8 and 2. So you should have a parenthesis with x plus 8 and a parenthesis with x plus 2 equal to 0. You're going to set x plus 8 equal to 0. Solve, you get negative 8. And you're going to set x plus 2 equal to 0. Solve, and you get negative 2. 7, there's one additional step before you can get to the factoring. You want to make it equal to 0. So you're going to want to subtract 18 from both sides. Make sure it's in descending order. 18 cannot be combined with any of the other terms, so it's x squared minus 3x minus 18 equals 0. Now we factor. It's got to multiply to be negative 18 and add to be negative 3. Those two numbers are going to be negative 6 and positive 3. You're going to have a parenthesis with x minus 6 and a parenthesis with x plus 3. After that, you set each piece equal to 0. You're going to have x minus 6 equal to 0. Solve, you get x equals 6. Set x plus 3 equal to 0. Solve, and you get negative 3. All right, so you're going to need to show all of this work to make sure that you follow the steps carefully and factor it and then solve it. The issue that people run into is they don't know when to solve versus when to just factor. If you notice at the beginning of the notes, we did problems like the video from yesterday. All right, these do not have equal signs. These just say to factor in the directions. If it says to factor, all you're going to do is factor, and then you stop. Do not set anything equal to 0. If they are problems like these that we just did that say factor and solve, it'll usually have the word solve in it. It'll also have an equal sign in the problem. If it has that, then you're going to have to factor it and keep going and solve it. All right, so we only solve if there is an equal sign. All right, if it just looks like this, there's no equal sign, you only factor it. All right, so your final answer is going to be, like this. This ends up being x plus 6 times x plus 2. All right. If it has an equal sign, that's going to be your hint to factor it and then solve. All right, so for these problems, you're going to end up with answers that are x equals a certain number. So you would factor it, which I already did here. You'd have x plus 6 times x plus 2. And then you solve it. You would set each piece equal to 0. And then solve those for x. So at the end, you're going to have an answer of x equals -6 and x equals -2. All right, so factoring means you just factor. Factor and solve is going to be done when you have an equal sign. You make it equal to 0, factor it, set the things equal to 0. So be careful. You'll see a mixture of both at times. So you want to make sure you only factor or continue past the factoring and solve, depending on which one it is. So be careful. All right, have a good one.